I think that we see Jack Ryan as a show for a worldwide audience, and so and Amazon is in something like 150 plus countries. It made a lot of sense for us to come here first because I think actually probably in totality more people outside the United States will watch this show than in the United States.
Does the fact that you're making the show for a platform like Amazon change anything in the way the show's made?
Absolutely. I think from the writing perspective, having only done broadcast shows prior to this with commercials and act breaks, there's sort of a falseness to the writing when you have to build up to every commercial break. Some sort of climactic event has to happen to get you in and out.
We don't have any content restrictions.
No content restrictions, and the pace of it was just whatever the story needed.
And lots of money. Frankly, Amazon has the resources to make this much more like a movie than a traditional television show.
Yep.
And talk to me about choosing John Krasinski for Jack Ryan.
John Krasinski, it's a very tough thing. When Graham and I first started working on this, I said to Graham, if we don't get the right actor, all the writing in the world won't matter. We can't make the show, and because it's kind of a hard target to hit. You need someone who's a believable action hero, but also someone who's smart.
Mm-hmm.
The essence of Jack Ryan is that he's a guy who solves problems with his brain. So John popped to mind really early on as someone that we wanted.
Yeah, John we'd been aware that John was kind of trying to step out of the Jim from The Office role, and he had done this movie 13 Hours, and we both went and saw it and thought he was very believable in the action part of it. And like Carlton said, he comes across very smart. And the other thing I think that he has that's almost intangible is sort of this everyman quality. He's very relatable in the way that Tom Hanks is, or some, Cary Grant, that people want to watch him.
There was also this kind of cool thing that, John Krasinski was associated with The Office, a guy who worked in a cubicle. And so we start with that guy, and then we take him out into the field where suddenly he finds himself on the front line in the war against terrorism. And so it was great that within the course of our story, we could take a character from a place that and expect to see him and take him into a different world.
You've both worked on shows that have been huge hits. I'm thinking in particular of Lost. Do you feel it when a show's going to be such a big hit? Like, can you tell in advance?
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting thing. I'm having that feeling about Jack Ryan, and it's really exciting. I think that all artists have peaks and valleys in their careers, and as an inveterate reader, I'll find a novelist, for instance, and I'll read all of his books. And sometimes it's hard to understand why one is a huge hit and other ones aren't. I'll enjoy them, but inevitably when you're an artist and you're creating, certain things land for an audience more than other ones. And I think particularly in television, with the internet, with the sort of feedback that exists in the two-way environment of the internet, you start to get a sense of things. And I think that, I have a very good feeling about Jack Ryan, that it's going to be a success.
Just to rebound off that, isn't there a danger, though, if you listen too much to what the audience is saying, you kind of lose your own vision?
No, you just listen to the positive things and you ignore the negative ones. Seriously, it is, you're absolutely right. It's hard, if you, I think listening to, you have to certainly avoid like the trolls and the terrible people out there on the internet who are, just being mean because it gives them an identity. So you have to kind of pick and choose what you listen to.
And for this show, though, we didn't, in a typical television show, the audience is reacting while you're still making the show. And whatever the audience is going to think, they're going to think we're done. It's too late. So we've made the first season, and there's nothing we can do about it. So hopefully they like it.